Hey, what's up? Let's do some math today. In this video, we're going to talk about ratios. Ratios is a huge concept within middle school mathematics, and it sets the stage for a lot of other advanced things later down the road. So having a really good understanding of ratios is going to be crucial. Now, what ratios are, let's just line that up, there we go. Our definition, it's going to be a comparison of two or more numbers. And that's pretty much all it is we're comparing two numbers. And there's several ways that we can go about writing ratios. So for example, we have, so let me see. Usually the best example I use in class is something like the ratio of boys to girls. We're going to compare these numbers, whatever it is, B and G. Now, when it comes to writing these, we have a couple of different ways we can do it. We can write it with this word 2. So we could say the number 2, another number. We could use the number, a colon, and then the other number. Or we can use fractions, B over G, whatever these numbers happen to be. But the thing we got to be careful of is being aware of the order of these, because the order really matters when we're talking about ratios. So for example, if we say that the ratio of boys to girls is 5 to 3, and we write this as a fraction, 5 over 3 is not the same as 3 over 5. Those are not equal to each other. If we're asking for the ratio of boys to girls, the boys' number has to be in the numerator, the girls' number has to be in the denominator. Otherwise, it's not going to match up with what's actually happening in reality. For every 5 boys, there are 3 girls. This one right here is saying for every 3 boys, there are 5 girls, which is pretty much the exact opposite of what we wanted to say. Now, with that being said, we also have a couple of different types of ratios. And this is huge. We have part to part, and we have part to whole. Now, the examples I love to give for this is part to part is something you'd see a lot at recess. So let's say you decide to do a little pickup game of soccer or basketball or football, but you have an odd number of people. So you have 5 versus 4. You have 5 players versus 4 players. These are kind of separated into 2 teams, and you're comparing the parts of each team. So that's 5 versus 4. Part to whole is sort of like what you would see on a quiz or a test. You got 9 out of, let's do it like this, 10 questions correct. This is the parts that you got correct, and this is the total number that you could have gotten correct. This is how many questions there were on the test. So if we're aware of these two differences, part to part to whole, that is huge. That would be great. Now, what we're going to do is just simply talk about how to write these. And so to help us with that, we're going to imagine sort of like a bin full of marbles here. And we have different colors. And what we're just going to do is write down the different proportions, or different ratios, I should say. So for green to blue, we want to count all these greens. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 greens. And if we want to, we could use the colon, we could use the word 2, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blues. So we could say 4 to 5, we could say 4 over 5, whatever floats our boat. Now, green to red is going to be, so we still have 4 of those greens to the 1, 2, 3 reds. So we could say 4 to 3, or say 4 over 3. And so this is kind of giving us some information. Here, we know there are more blues than there are greens. This one is saying there's more greens than reds. Now, also notice how I'm keeping the problem relatively the same, but I've just flipped the order. So if we're saying red to green, this should be 3 to 4 like that, or should be 3 over 4 like that, not 4 over 3. Next, let's kick things up a notch. Oh, that's supposed to say purple. Maybe my stylus didn't get it. There we go. All right. This one is a 3-parter. Purple to green to blue. Now, when I said, we're talking about what a ratio is, it's a comparison of two or more numbers. We can compare three numbers. If you want to, you can compare four. Rarely will that happen, though. But now, if we have, let's see, purple, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 to 4 to the blues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Now, this brings up a very interesting point right here. 4 to 4. If, and this is going to do this off to the side here, we were just going to go purple to green, and we got that ratio of 4 over 4, we should reduce that. So if you're ever using fractions, make sure you're writing them in simplest form, 1 to 1. And that's because for every purple, there is a green, let's do a different color. For every purple that we have a green that matches up with it, a green that pairs up with it. So there's that 1 to 1 ratio. However, because blue is in the mix here and says there's 5 of them, these don't simplify, so we just let it be. Now these we can't really write as fractions, so we have to leave this in the colon form or with all the 2's. And finally, let's do purple to all. Purple, there we go, to all. All right, so this is a part to whole ratio, so part to whole. So first of all, we know there's 1, 2, 3, 4 purples. Let's see how many there are overall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 to 16, which boils down to 1 over 4. So again, if we're dealing with these ratios as fractions, we should be simplifying them like that. And so that's just what I wanted to go over today with ratios. The big idea, we're comparing two or more numbers. We have a couple ways of writing them. And the other really, really big idea is we have the two parts, or the two types. We have part to part, and we have part to whole. So good luck on your practice, and let me know if you have any questions.